I've been a reader my whole life, but it was definitely during COVID that love for reading grew exponentially, and I found myself waiting for any free moment in the day to just pick up a book and go into another world. And today I'm excited to talk about Normal People by Sally Rooney, which is the first book I read during the pandemic and the book that single-handedly made me obsessed with reading, grew my collection of books, and propelled just this passion for literature and for stories and for really deep, intricate characters. So Normal People is a wonderful, wonderful book. On the shorter side as well. It's easy to digest quickly. I remember I had a meeting for a project. I was in university when I was reading this, and I dreaded having to put the book down to do schoolwork. I could not wait. The moment that meeting ended, I finished the rest of the book, and there's actually a TV series out with two fantastic actors as the main characters, and I watched the entire thing that night. I pulled an all-nighter because this book was so good and left such an impact on me. Now, about the actual book, this is literary fiction, and it's very character-driven. There isn't so much of a underlying plot throughout or something that we're working towards at the end. We follow Marianne and Connell from high school to university and see how this web of their relationship has been built from not really knowing each other, but knowing each other's presence, to being very close, to then having a moment happen which leads to a lot of distance, to then reconnecting, and so on and so forth, like a roller coaster from the start to the finish. And it leaves you on the edge of your seat because they're both so deeply problematic in their own minds. They're wonderful people, but they have so much trauma they need to work through. And I think both of them are quite anxious people as well. And so knowing that they feel a certain way, but then act or speak differently from how they really feel gets infuriating. Miscommunication is a big, big part of this book, but it also makes it beautiful and human because I act like that, and I know so many people in my life act like that, and I'm sure you do as well, where sometimes we know what we really want, but it seems so hard to voice what we actually want, and then there's this butterfly effect of everything else that unravels because we couldn't be honest. It's a beautifully written book. I adore this author. I would read Sally Rooney's grocery list just to read more of what she has put out in the world. On the overall themes of the book, definitely love and relationships, whether it's familial, platonic, or romantic. Also social class. There are quite a few in-depth conversations between Marianne and Connell, but also just mentions throughout the book of how they're in very different social classes, our two main characters, and how that affects them and their relationship and the world around them from the start when we see them in high school all through about to finish university. And it really broadened my perspective. This was also the first really intriguing romantic book that I read, which also dealt with social class and politics really, really well. I think it weaved the three themes incredibly, and so you were getting to broaden your knowledge about different things while also just giggling and kicking your feet because you were so happy when they were happy, which isn't very often in this book. Overall, this book definitely examines the complexities of being in your early 20s and how to navigate relationships and mental health and love and all of the wonderful and dreadful things about growing up and just feeling those growing pains and how it affects basically every aspect of your life. So it is incredibly relatable and so touching, so beautiful. I've read it 3 times and I cannot wait to read it again. I've also gifted this book to people I love. I've annotated it for them and given it to them because I think it is such an applicable book to almost anyone, and you have so much to learn from it and appreciate about it. And I could go on and on for ages, but I'll leave it at that. If you pick up this book, I hope you absolutely adore it like I did.